Good morning, gang. Happy Friday morning. End of the week. We finally made it. It's supposed to rain here this weekend. Not that I'm going to complain about the rain, but got to get stuff done, too. It's pretty near planting season, so I need to be outside getting work done. I was planting trees yesterday, more fruit trees. That'll work. It's funny because as a lot of us are doing work, our illustrious commander in thief is trying to bring in more people into this country who don't want to work. They claim they want to work, but they're just here for the free money. They said it themselves. Okay. And then he's going to chastise other countries for not doing the same thing he's doing, ruining his own economy. It's the gaslighting and the bizarro world that is Joe Biden's brain and the handlers that write his speeches are just beyond comprehension at this point. Okay. I mean, it's to the point now where we've become, the United States, the dumping ground for the rest of the world's problems. You know, think about it. Oh, you don't like Chinese communism? Don't stand up to Xi Jinping. Just go to the United States. You can enjoy Joe Biden's communism. Look at Venezuela. Hey, this is great. There's open borders at the United States. Let's empty our prisons and send all our prisoners up to the United States. Then we don't have to pay for them anymore down here, right? Food costs money, even for prisoners. Look at this going on around the world. As the joke goes, we're not getting the best and brightest from these other countries. We're getting the wretched refuse. Now Joe wants to bring in Palestinians. 35,000 of them, right? Okay. I guess if they want a job, they can be like Rashida Tlaib and go to Congress. God knows you don't have to be the best and brightest to be a congressperson. I mean, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Adam Schiff, Sheila Jackson Lee. I mean, let's look at some of the rocket scientists we have making the laws in this country, right? We're doomed. It's the only way I can look at it. But then you look at what Biden said Wednesday at a fundraiser, and it just defies belief as to what comes out of this guy's mouth that people actually believe it. Okay. He decided, and I want to give you a couple of his quotes. Okay. He started out again. This is a fundraiser. This election is about freedom, America, and democracy. All things which I'm trying to destroy, right, Joe? That's why I badly need you, so I can continue the job. One of the reasons why our economy is growing is because of you and many others. Why? Because we welcome immigrants. Okay. Now, I'm not going to disagree with part of what I'm not going to disagree with exactly the wordage he used, because it's correct. The truth is what he's skirting here. Does our economy grow because of immigration? Legal immigration? Yes, okay. We do have many immigrants in this country, legal immigrants, who have built businesses, become great employees for companies, and helped companies grow. Yes. Joe didn't say because we welcome illegal immigrants, so therefore his statement is true. But his insinuation is illegal immigrants and legal immigrants are the same. That's a joke, okay? Illegal immigrants, again, have said on video, we're not here to work, we're just here for the free money, okay? They have no skills, they do not do anything to add to the economy, okay? The funny part is when Joe said in that quote, one of the reasons our economy is growing. No, our economy's not growing. GDP sucks. Okay, it's down from the last president. Uh, so by that metric, no, we're not growing. What is growing is inflation numbers, scarcity of housing, foreclosures, repossessions, and bankruptcies, and credit card debt. All those things are growing under Joe's economy, none of which are good for anybody. Okay. So Joe continues, why is China stalling so badly economically? Why is Japan having trouble? Why is Russia? Why is India? Because they're xenophobic. Okay. You might have stepped on it here, Joe, because Japan and India are pretty much allies of ours. Okay? China, Russia, no. But none of those countries are doing what you said. Those economies, China, India, Russia, Japan, are not flailing because they haven't brought immigrants in. The reason people are leaving is because the economy is weak. China, Russia, not having problem. People aren't moving to China, to Russia, to India. Okay, people can't move to Japan. Pretty much, it's practically impossible to get citizenship in Japan unless you're Japanese. Okay. But people are leaving countries with bad economies. The economy isn't bad because there aren't immigrants coming in. People are leaving because the economy is bad. It's not cause and effect. You can't switch cause and effect and turn it into effect and cause and flip it around that way. Okay. The reason people are leaving, the reason the economy is doing bad is not because people aren't coming in. It's because mismanagement, kind of like you've done, Joe, and the people are leaving looking for greener pastures. The problem is the media has told them that, oh, life in the United States is great right now, and they get here and they go, huh? It ain't so good, okay? I got the same problems here I had there. Gee, I left communist China, and what do I now have? I now have Biden communism in the United States, okay? I mean, he just went on. Another quote. They don't want immigrants. Immigrants are what makes us strong, not a joke. That's not hyperbole. No, Americans, the American citizens, born, naturalized, that's what makes us great. Immigrants coming in and shipping all the money back to Mexico or Indonesia or India or wherever doesn't make us great. It makes us a charity. And the last thing we can afford, the United States can afford, is to watch more money go out the door and not pose any benefit to American society. You think about this. Immigrants, a lot of them, all the illegals, every one of them, and a lot of the legal immigrants come in here, use the resources, and give nothing back, okay? I mean, granted, they give their work, okay? But anybody that's ever been in business where you have immigrants working, yeah, they come in, they do their job. They're not concerned about the company getting better or anything like that. Their only concern is that paycheck on Friday that gets sent back to family wherever. That's it. And then they go back home to the apartment that they share with 11 other people, so they can save as much money and send it back to the home country. That's how they're doing it. All the while, the companies that hired them in the first place because they were cheap put Americans, the guy who has a wife and 2 kids at home and wants to be part of the community, they put him out of work. Okay. I'm all for people bettering their lives, but Joe is completely wrong on this, 100% wrong. Immigration, I'm a supporter of immigration. Mrs. P is an immigrant, okay? But I want to give you this. When she came here, this is the official policy of the United States. I had to, and she had to, sign documentation with the U.S. government to get her here that she is not allowed to collect any sort of government assistance for 10 years. No welfare, no food stamps, no Section 8, no nothing, okay? That's it. Why is it that to come here legally, to want to be an American, to want to build a life here, the restrictions are so great. But to want to come here, treat the United States like a cash cow, that you can just take everything from us, there's no restrictions whatsoever. You hear the stories about, oh, what was it, Jack Smith, there's one set of laws in this country. Bullshit, okay? Just in the immigration issue, we can see there's two. You're an illegal, we give you everything. You come here the right way, we give you nothing. Not that Mrs. P's asking for anything, okay? She worked hard, she started a business, we do okay. But why is it that people that have no ambition to do anything other than fleece the United States are allowed to walk in? Talk about building economies. Let's take a look at what's going on in Europe, for example. You go to Germany, there are villages that have been completely taken over by illegals. All the Germans are gone. The city's basically wiped off the map. It's now just some third world 800 AD shithole town. Okay? Used to be a nice little quaint village. You look at London. There are places in London where the police are afraid to go to and won't go because it's too dangerous for the cops to go. Okay. What would be those enclaves? Oh, that would be all the Middle Eastern immigrants that they've taken in. Joe mentions Russia. Let's take a look. Why Russia doesn't want the immigrants. See, the terrorist attacks that have been happening in Moscow and St. Petersburg, in Ufa, those were done by illegal immigrants. Okay. They have a little different problem than we have here in the United States. The terrorist activities we have, mass shootings in the last 2 years have all been by LGBTQ people. Whether or not they're immigrants, I don't know, but mental disease has a problem, has a big part in making people do stupid things. Now Joe wants to bring in some 35,000 Palestinians into the United States. Again, please tell me what skills they are going to bring in. Is Joe planning on doing the Barack Obama Somali experiment? Hey, let's put all the Somalis in Minnesota and completely turn this district into a Somali district, and then we get Ilhan Omar representing it, and we'll have a nice blue district up there forever. This was Barack Obama's Lyndon Johnson moment when he said, I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. Barack Obama's like, well, I'll have Minnesota voting Democrat for the next 200 years. Is this Biden's idea of what to do with the Palestinians? Yeah, let's import more no skill, no assimilation, no common ground with America at all. But let's bring those people here. And you have some pushback on this. Congress people, Andy Ogles, Tom Tiffany, Scott Perry, they've all put a letter together to prevent any funds being used from the budget to resettle Palestinians here. The funny thing is, like I said, being a dumping ground for the rest of the world's problems. If they want to bring all the Palestinians here, please explain to me, very simply, why none of the other Arab nations, none, I mean, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Jordan, Egypt, keep going, okay? None of them want the Palestinians to come into their countries. They at least have something in common in a religion. They have nothing in common with us. We want to bring them in. But their own people do not want them. That tells you something. It should tell Joe something. It should tell his handlers something. But Joe lives in a fantasy land. Joe doesn't listen to reality. Joe doesn't think past here. Nor does anybody else in the DNC. Nothing good is going to come from this if they start importing even more criminals, terrorists, murderers, and rapists. Open the news any day, and you can find another story on another illegal immigrant committing a violent crime in the United States. Hey, let's import more. Joe, when one of these illegals is found in the shower with Ashley, maybe then you'll get serious about this. Wouldn't want somebody else sniffing somebody you love, right? Pinball out.